it'd be kind of
Oh
weird.
yeah, you sit here, so here.
And then so I'll be like, who's that over there? And then I'll open up the door. And then when you're getting on, you'll be like, I'm Sarah from da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And then you sit down.
Okay.
And then it could be like there could be 2 people at that bus stop. And then 2 people get on. And then like say you and Eric get on the first time.
Okay.
And then Sean and Dan the next time. And then
you can be the last.
Yeah, I'm the last.
Yeah, it looks like we have a couple of people here.
Eric, we're getting on the bus.
All right.
Is your thing
We're
here
about
going?
to start a very special event for you guys. We're literally doing 2 live streams and like a live recorded video, and it's craziness. But join us. I should be able to read your comments if you want to ask questions and stuff, but we're going to be doing something special here. So just keep watching. Enjoy. Oh, yeah. And you should be able to look around. It's 360.
360.
So if you have a mobile phone, swipe around. If you are on a desktop computer, use your mouse and kind of drag around, and let me know how that goes.
Aw, pretty baloney. This is Holly.
What?
Okay.
Hey, Holly. Hey.
So if you heard Eric talking over there, he is live streaming from his YouTube channel, Vegaноstomy. So if you don't want to watch on this, go watch on his YouTube channel, because the cool thing about what he's doing is he's using a camera that can film 360. So if you tap your screen as you're watching, you can look at anywhere in this room. It's really creepy, actually. So like you can look at like any one of us, spy on us. It's strange, but that's what he's doing on his channel. All right, let's go. Let's film.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me get off. I'm not on the bus yet.
Oh, and another rule, of course, when we're filming, try not to like speak during when someone else is talking.
Oh,
Or
really?
anything like that, Just, like the basic rules.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really super hard to edit last time because of all the commotion that was going on.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
It's
y'all
hard
were.
work.
want to hold the mic?
Would that blow it out though?
Not necessarily.
Like I feel like
But
it's
that might be
close
hard
enough
when
because
we're
I'm already 3 feet away from it. I feel like that would be.
Eric, we get
Would
on.
be-
We're the first stop. Where are we getting on from?
What's that?
Boston.
We're the first one?
Yeah. You and I,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Dan and Sean, and then.
Are we
Chris.
going by category of biology? Is that what we're doing?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Do. Oh, I guess I have to hit like record. That's really important, y'all.
No, you can't get on the bus yet until he picks us up.
Someone's not
Oh.
listening to the directions apparently.
Okay.
No, our bus stop is over here. We can't,
All right. Do you guys want to
Stand where I
stay
want.
right here?
Eric, just do what I
Hold on.
say.
I can't tell. We need like another person. Okay. Yeah, because I can see your arm, Christy.
Gosh, Christy, get it together.
Wow.
Your arm is always just no legs.
Okay, don't forget that the bus bounces.
All right. Okay. How am I gonna start this off? Any suggestions, y'all?
Well, have you ever watched Speed?
Wait, do
Just
you want me
just
Pop the
take
door open?
inspiration from that. Pretend there's a bomb on the bus and just drive like Sandra Bullock. Don't go under 50.
We need to move it.
Y'all are gonna see how horrible I am when I'm actually recording a video. If you ever actually watched any of my YouTube videos, you can see it cuts almost every sentence because I stutter and like I can't put into it. Alrighty.
Yeah, don't do
Okay. Y'all ready?
Yep. I'm just doing things for his 360.
Okay. Late.
God, where's that bus?
Oh hey! I didn't see you there. My name's Megan and I'm your Front Bite YouTuber. Today I am driving the IBD school bus. Let's hit the road. Who's that over there? Hi guys.
Hey there.
Pick any seat. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all
Keep
times.
your arms in.
All right. Who
Hi.
do we have here?
Oh, you might want to ask again.
Who do we have here?
Hi, I'm Sarah from Inflamed and Untamed.
And I'm Eric from Veganostomy.
All right, put your seatbelts on, guys. We're heading to the next bus stop. It's a little bumpy, so stay
Buses
tuned.
have seatbelts.
Well, Okay, you're right. It is a school bus, so there's no such thing as seatbelts. Okay,
I feel safe.
at least in America. All right, here we go.
She's
Y'all, you Mr. Cute.
Me?
you,
We're up to
you
Sean.
and Sean.
Oh, let's do it. We got it.
Were you guys watching?
Wait, go back. Go back.
They're busy watching Eric's YouTube channel.
Wait, why isn't Christy go first?
No, it's you and Sean.
Okay.
And then I'll get on and be like, who do we have here? And then
It's
you'll
my
introduce
backpack.
yourself.
You want me to put this
Okay,
backpack like
okay.
on the ground? I'll just.
I mean, you can take it wherever, you know.
Do you want me
I
to
don't want to,
put it down?
you start,
There
knocking
we
your nutrition because, that's kind of important.
Yeah, I'm eating as we pride.
Multitasker. She can't lie on her, resume.
Put it somewhere where they can-
All right, y'all ready?
It's a good thing these are short, so nobody can see up my skirt.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Okay, you guys ready?
Bueller.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Bueller. Okay.
I don't understand.
Oh,
Here we go.
Bouncing before.
Let's do it. Let's get on the bus.
Woo!
All right.
Hey guys.
Who do we have here?
I am Dan from Dan Sharp IBD.
And Sean from chronicallystrong.com.
All right. Let's head on to the next bus stop. Anybody want some music?
Sure.
All right. All right. Woohoo! Who do we
Where do I
have
climb
here
on?
now?
Where do I go?
You come on now.
Onto the bus.
Oh wait.
Hold on. Here. Hold on. Redo it. Wait.
What were we doing? Where shall I put this?
Well, we can't tell them because they're
Oh,
watching her.
It's a secret.
Chrissy's not a secret.
Just put it on the bed because they can look up, down, all around.
Oh.
Oh wait, I just said out loud where to put it.
Broadcast
Well, no,
will
all
resume
closer.
in 3 minutes.
It has to be closer.
Well, while you're posting this,
Oh, yeah, we have. We
You
use
can-
really big memory
Can't
cards.
read it. I
thank
tried
you,
it.
Sherry.
Trick it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Aw.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Megan.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Just yank my freaking port out of my chest. I don't care.
All
I
right.
have you no concern for patients.
Now, are we in the exact same spot? Oh, he got off the bus.
Stop watching Eric's YouTube channel. They're watching us.
Y'all are gonna give me a heart attack, okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay, so are you
Okay.
in the exact same spot now
Yeah,
that you were?
So where am I
Yes,
climbing
but my
on?
leg is
3
now
centimeters.
extended
But where am I climbing on?
Okay, when I go
Busy.
into
Okay.
Dan's lap.
when I go like this and I go shing shing, that's like the brakes on the bus. And when I reach like this is opening up the door.
And then just come like right here.
Okay.
Alrighty. To the next bus stop. Y'all want some music?
Yeah.
Sure.
Here we go.
Wait, where was the music? Oh, is that?
You just pretend like there's music.
We have to start over again.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
It's gonna be edited.
Okay, from the stop.
Okay, okay,
From
okay.
the,
Oh, I see it.
My britches are falling down. We can't keep up this business. Hi.
Come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have your bus pass, man?
Oh, yes, here.
Okay.
My name is Christy Stone. I am Crony Baloney IBD. Is that what we're doing?
All right.
Oh,
That
there's
didn't look
room right
legit to
here.
me.
Well, buckle up because there's a couple of bumps on the way. Let's keep driving.
Oh.
Here comes the train. Woo!
Whoa!
All right.
Gonna kill us.
You know what? Let's go ahead and start that conversation. So today,
Hey, keep your eye on the road.
we are going to be talking about biologics. So, of a
It
show
happens a
of
lot on the
hands-
bus.
Yeah, it happens a lot on the bus. So, show of hands, who has been on a biologic? Christy, you have not.
No, I have not.
That's why she has to sit on the back of the
right.
bus.
That's why she's on the back of the bus, guys. So, anytime during this conversation, give us some, questions that you may have if you possibly will need a biologic in the future. All right?
Have you ever heard of biologics, Christy?
I've heard of them, but boy, have I heard a lot of different things online.
But let's start. What is a biologic?
Dan?
What?
Well, you're the best at describing it. Yeah. You
Okay,
did a whole
so
freaking article on it.
biologic is a medication. Well, in IBD, it's a medication that's made through a living organism. All of them target a specific protein that's involved in the inflammatory process.
Very good.
Okay.
You get a sticker.
Okay. So, starting with myself, I have been on 2 biologics. The first biologic I've been on is an anti-TNF, which is Humira, which is a very, very well-known biologic. You can probably recognize it with the purple font. It can treat a plethora of different conditions. So I was put on Humira originally to treat my psoriatic arthritis, because at the time I was still misdiagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So I went on that, and then it didn't end up working for me, and I switched to Stelara. So that's just kind of a brief history there. Mr. Eric, what have you been on?
I was also on Humira, actually as part of a clinical trial. So that was my first experience with a biologic. It unfortunately didn't work for me, but the trial itself was an interesting experience, and the using a biologic was also pretty interesting because that was like an at-home injectable, which is very different from what most people are doing when they're just taking a pill. So that was definitely a learning experience for me.
Okay. Well, I said that because I just realized how horrible my toenails look, and people can look at that on the 360.
No,
what
they
the
So,
moment
is
of
it 360
stress
and
What's
HD?
going on?
I would
Also-
really like to know. Is that?
Also, I have a question. What if we don't want to say what biologics we have been on, because I don't want my experience to influence other people's
Sure,
experiences.
That is
So
a-
can I say then like the number of biologics or something like that, or that
Yeah.
I've been on them, but I don't have to name
Yeah, like
even though most of my followers know
Yeah.
which ones I've been on, but I don't want to
So-
influence people's decisions.
Okay, so I'm going to make a little bit of a note here. So with medications and with IBD in general, no one is the same. So different medications will work with different people. Just in my case, the first biologic I was on did not work for me, but it works with so many other different people. So our experience, it's what happened to us personally. So it shouldn't necessarily scare you away from, a biologic, but maybe just something to think about. But there's been a lot of success stories from every single one of the biologics out there. So that's something just to keep in mind.
Can I get off the bus to put on shoes?
Yes, or you can get out the bus to put
I
on
want to
shoes.
see my toes.
Or what, socks or something?
I have socks.
Do you want to slip on my little numbers over there? They're adorable and they match your shorts.
They are
Alright,
adorable.
since we're all getting up, I have to check the camera to make sure
Alright.
everything's okay. Excuse me, pardon, sorry.
Must have stopped
Just
the
cut you off
meetings.
then. Okay, it's still
Do
recording.
you wanna,
Timothy is getting his colon out
we
next
can
year.
strip off the
Awesome.
top
Like this
thing,
whole
like
room is
over your
colonless
mouth? Is that
except
why you're
for one
uncomfortable?
person.
Yeah, because
So
I
welcome to the
like
club.
keep my legs closed and my shoes are on.
Mindy has been on Remicade, Humira, and she has been on Cimzia for 7 years now. Awesome.
Eric, do you have like
Timothy
one of your
did not have
shirts
Lois, but
that
Humira
you
and
just put
Remicade.
over her lap to
Okay.
comfortable?
Being back. I'm putting on
Yeah.
shoes.
For now.
Would you like one?
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
need
see,
to
like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Pillows.
Those are
I need
pillows.
something on my back to start for me to
Some
sit.
pillows
Show me
over
her
there. You got
Well, as long as you
blankets,
can
we
put a
got
pillow behind my
dressers.
back or something.
Take these. There's so many. Look, there's like 4, right?
Yeah, but that's propping you fellas up.
She's
Uh-huh.
leaving
It's
us.
better to get us more room.
Let's
if we
start
don't.
with this and then see if Sarah needs more.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get my bridges.
Maybe like one more.
So, so we just did Eric. I'm gonna jump to you, Sarah. Then I'm gonna
Okay.
jump to Sean next.
Okay.
And then I'll do Dan last.
So the question is what?
Kind of like what biologics have you been on? Or you can, of course, you can just use the number. Or you can, I don't know if you can, if you would be comfortable with saying what does it inhibit? Like, you know, you have anti-TNF, you have 20 or 12, 23, you know, with the star. If you want to, you know, do that, or you can
Okay.
do whatever you
I can
are
do whatever I
comfortable
want.
Do I have other expectations from me in this video production?
Yeah, don't ask me to get any like into technical stuff because I wouldn't.
What kind of ads do you have already?
Say something.
Just kind of like personal experience, you know, maybe like the basics, like how I shared that, you know, chemo is an anti-TNF.
All right.
Um,
All right.
Just,
All
you know,
right.
very basic things. All right. So Sarah, what's your experience?
Well, I've been on biologics. For me, I would like to, what I would want you to know is that when I was diagnosed with IBD, it was over 20 years ago. And biologics had not yet been approved for treatment in IBD. So back then, all that we had to treat inflammatory bowel disease was steroids, which we know is our most dangerous treatment available, and things like 5-ASAs, which aren't really effective for Crohn's disease, and then some doctors were using, oh shit, oh darn, the camera turned off. I told them not to say anything inappropriate, and then it was me. Sorry, you guys.
Okay. Why is it saying that? Okay, we're just gonna keep
I was
going.
on a roll.
You were. I told you we needed another person to
Oh, I
operate.
thought you were just trying to get that in the video
Oh,
or
no.
something. You're
Usually
fanning?
fan myself every now and then.
Okay. Should we start from square one? Probably.
So Sarah, what's your
Okay.
what's your experience with biologics?
Thank you for asking, bus driver.
Yeah.
So, I have been on biologics. I am in support of using biologics. What I would like to say for myself in my situation is that I have been living with IBD for over 20 years. Biologics the first one was approved 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So, growing up with IBD, biologics were not around for me. The treatments that I had available to me were steroids, which we know long-term use and even in the short term, they're our most dangerous medication, but that was kind of what you relied on back then. And things like 5-ASAs, which aren't effective really for treating Crohn's disease in most cases, and Imuran and 6-MP were being used. My doctor had me on one of those for a while. Anyway, point being, we didn't have what we have today, and we, once biologics were approved, we've learned a lot about them since then. And just knowing what I know now, knowing that mucosal healing is something to strive for, that we can change the natural course of disease. So IBD normally over time will progress. It's a progressive disease. It's going to get worse. Complications, hospitalizations, surgeries, all of those things you're more likely to have if you're not treating the inflammation. And biologics are a way to effectively control that. So that is why I'm in support of using biologics. That's why I went on them. I'm sad that I didn't have that opportunity when I was younger, because I did live with the damage caused by untreated disease or not effective management, and then I went through surgery. After surgery is when I first was given the opportunity to start a biologic, and since then I've done a lot better and things have changed a lot for me. So that's my experience.
Alright, so Sean, what kind of biologics have you been on? Like, what's your base story?
So mine's kind of boring because I was on Humira too, but I don't. Just didn't work for me.
Oh yeah. I didn't really say what happened to me on biologics, but it doesn't matter.
So Mr.
One didn't work and
Dan,
that one does.
your input.
Yes, bus driver. I am also in support of biologics. I've been on them. I expect to be on them for a while. Not sure what else to add. I think Sarah gave a good overview of where they fit into everything.
So how many biologics have you tried?
Like 18, 19. What do we have now? Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah,
Mm.
a few. All
Yeah.
right. So we definitely have the experience here. So we covered, some of us covered what biologics we've been on and just, the basic story. It affected us positively.
Well, and I am not on biologics, but I would go on biologics no problem, because I read and I had that talk with my doctor about what's coming next. So even though I've never had them before, I'm not afraid of them. I see it as a great step forward in my treatment process. And I had a moment where I was doing really well, and I went off medication with the help of my doctor because it was an ASICL situation. And then it was time to go off of those, and so I've been running, as Dr. Rubin would say, I've been running naked without treatment. Now that things are picking up in the Crohn's disease department, we're assessing where we're going to go next, and part of that is mapping out which biologic would be the best fit for me. So while I'm not on them, I would take them no problem, and I would even recommend it if you were my sister.
Oh, hey, come on in. I'm gonna see how long this has been going, because I've been broadcasting for a long time. Do you guys want me to keep broadcasting, or is this like totally boring to watch because we're just sitting around filming a video? Because I feel like this has been going on for a long time. Oh, hey, Rebecca. Rebecca Kaplan says hi. And Timothy says they need to 3D print us new colons. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? They are working on 3D printing ostomy wafers, which is pretty interesting and exciting. I've seen a little bit of that through Dr. Higgins' work at the University of Michigan.
Okay, so the next section, I'm gonna.
But let me know if I should keep broadcasting.
And then we're gonna talk about how to start that conversation with your doctor. Like, how did you personally start the conversation about biologics, or did your doctor mention it first?
Okay.
And then how did you narrow down what biologic you were going
Holly
to?
says she's happily watching. She has no life. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. This is my life. Like like a few weekends out of the year, I have a life. And
Go
then
to the bus stop.
She's
Go to the
gonna
bus
pick you
stop.
Sean says keep. Okay, thanks guys.
When she
Thanks for your
opens the
input.
gate, then
I just didn't want to bore you all because I know we're just
Give me my phone or
hanging
something
around
by the
and-
Coke can.
and probably not that interesting right now.
I feel like I have moist
I can't
armpits.
just jump off a movie bus without staying.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Please keep your hands to be inside the vehicle at all times. Okay.
Is anybody watching on Eric's YouTube channel from here? Like watching on both? Like seriously, if you're not on his YouTube channel, you should just go look at it. It's Veganostomy, or this.
That's
it,
the
right?
channel name, yeah.
Vegan, like VEGAN, Ostomy. Go check out his YouTube channel and watch his broadcast because the camera is it's so cool. Like you can look all around the room, up, down, everywhere. He has like the coolest stuff.
Alrighty. Okay. So here.
Okay, we better.
Well, I'm gonna run out of space
Yeah.
on my card. This is okay.
keep going.
So I'm gonna transition.
Should we
Like,
pick them
oh,
up?
I got a page or something.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, let's go on to the next bus stop, and then both of you will pop on. And when we're doing this, and then I go, that's me stopping. And when I go over here and pull the thing that's opening up the door,
And then you get in.
and then you get in and I'm like, who's this? And that's when you introduce yourself.
Oh,
And
Okay.
like say
it's
like
a
your
European
name
bus because you're driving through your
and your website or
Yeah.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so like your name, social media.
Okay.
And then basically what we already did is we went around and told like our basics biologic story. Have you both been on biologics? Yes. Okay. So the next subject we're going to be talking about is how did you start the conversation about biologics with your GI, or how did they start the conversation about biologics with you? Alrighty? Okay. Alrighty. Let's head on to the next best stop. Oh. There's a turn coming up, y'all.
Oh,
Woo!
I hate when I get on this bus.
Come on in.
Sure, you got a chauffeur's license to be driving.
Hey
a bus?
guys.
I'm tripping over shoes. Hey.
It's a casual bus.
Make sure to find your seat and that your face is viewable by the camera. It's a dash cam, guys.
So-
it's a dash cam.
The big camera is what we're actually recording for YouTube, and then I'm Facebook Living, and Eric's camera is also broadcasting on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, Kelly, you're 90.
Hi, guys.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. Wait, did you guys already introduce yourselves? No. Okay.
No.
All right. So the newcomers. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jamie, and I have a blog called Pretty Rotten Guts at Tumblr, and a YouTube channel called Chronicles, spelled Crone, and then Ickles with the S. Hi. Hi, I'm Kelly. I am from Kelly on the Run or Purple Project on social media.
All right.
It's so funny that all of us who got on this bus just happen to have IBD.
What?
It's you behind me.
It is called the IBD School Bus.
I'm gonna yeah.
I'm gonna tip
All
this
right.
way.
So
This
we're
way.
gonna transition into the next subject. Is how was
Okay.
biologics brought up and
Okay, shut your mouth. No.
I didn't even
All right.
say anything.
So the next subject is how was biologics mentioned in the oh shit. What? I mean donkey, I mean what?
We're telling.
live is that?
Okay, hold on. I see, this is the part where I start chopping things out, but
Skirt
since
is
there's
too
live
big
stuff.
and it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's transition into the next subject. How was biologics introduced in the doctor's office? So with me, we knew that the psoriatic arthritis was going rampant, and actually that conversation started while I was in the hospital because of it, and they said that I needed to probably try out one of the anti-TNFs, which of course was Humira. So that's how that conversation started. Now after I popped off of Humira, and they figured out I had Crohn's. I have, not have. There's no cure for Crohn's. That
What?
I know of. What? You mean you can't cure it with the gluten-free diet? What?
I meant to get on the naturopath bus. Getting out.
I need coconuts.
Wait, I hear there's a great salad dressing for that.
Oh, that's okay.
She's losing her mind.
Okay. So
I hopped on the wrong bus.
I'm sorry. I'm ruining it.
Wait,
So-
where's my
So after we figured out that I had Crohn's disease, there was active inflammation, and we needed to quickly nip this thing in the bud before it caused any more damage. So I didn't have that great of an experience with TNF blockers, so we decided we needed something a little bit different. So I actually have 3 autoimmune diseases. So I have Crohn's, of course. I have psoriatic arthritis, and I have plaque psoriasis. So Solar actually treats all 3 of those things. So that was kind of like the jackpot of the biologics for my case. So that's how I got that started. My GI was like, we need to treat all 3 of these conditions, and so far Solar looks like the best bet. So yeah.
I was gonna choke you.
All right. I'm cutting this out, but who would like to share next?
Let's
Well,
let somebody else who hasn't answered something.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
I can't even get it together right now.
so basically the question is, how did the conversation start about biologics?
Christy, have you had, like, maybe you can answer that if you've had conversations but you haven't been on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Christy, you have not been on biologics, so how would you bring that up, or how has that ever been mentioned in any of your doctor's appointments so far?
Well, I've always been open and talking to my doctor over a long, like our entire relationship, that is a possibility of a positive future for us. And with the outcome,
Did it turn off?
the camera pooped.
I gotta readjust myself.
Oh, we have 56 people watching this live.
Oh,
Hey guys!
Hi guys!
This is like for most of it's like the same. It works like for us.
For those of you that joined later or not at the beginning and you are wondering what the heck we are doing and talking about, Meg is filming a YouTube video with us right now. So there's 3 cameras actually filming us in this room. I'm broadcasting on my Facebook page, as you know, because you're watching, and Eric is broadcasting on his YouTube. But what we are doing is we are filming a video for Meg's YouTube channel. So that's what all this stuff is about.
All right. So where did we leave off with you? Let me see.
It was brought up.
Basically we were talking about how the conversation of biologics happened, and for me with my doctor, it's been our whole relationship since I moved down to another state. It's been about 5 years or so, I guess, with him. And I knew there were things coming out in the market. I am a patient who reads what's coming out and keeps track of science that's happening, so that was something we always discussed, and I always picked his brain every time I went in. So my symptoms were fine. I wasn't having issues until recently. They started to pick up, and it was kind of a mutually like, it was not a foreign thing that just got plopped into my lap. It was, okay, so here's what's coming up next. Because I'd already been taken off a drug that I'd been on, the ACE-call for too long, and so it was time to come off that, and I'd been without meds, so now here I am having that conversation about what's next. And he literally drew out a map. Okay, so here's what you got, so here's what's options, and here's how those work, and like the mechanism, and how they're dosing, and how we'll know if those are working, and how we're going to monitor to make sure they're working, and the entire stair step of how we're going to do it.
Okay. All right.
I just got a text message from Steph Divatiri, but now I can't go back to it because I closed out the live.
So the next subject I want to talk about, this section I'm talking right now, it's not going to be on there. I would like to talk about how to guide, or what kind of tips you would give someone that is walking to this appointment. What would they mention? What kind of concerns should they voice? Like,
Is this for somebody who has never been on biologics or somebody who's switching?
That's a good question.
never have been on, or if it'd be switching, you could do both or just one of them.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I should phrase the question.
Maybe maybe a few people could answer one and another.
Yeah. Who would like to answer this question? Who has their ideas?
I do.
Like, okay.
Talk about switching, maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna popcorn
I'll try
it
it.
to Jamie. But okay. So what kind of tips do you guys have to bring?
You can do it.
Have any of you had to experience going through?
What tips would you give to a patient who has never been on a biologic before?
Just tips.
Who's considering?
Yeah, just a tip.
So what kind of tips would you guys give to a new patient what kind of tips would you guys give to a patient who has never been on a biologic before?
I'm bringing it up to your doctor.
So what kind of tips would you guys give to a patient who has never been on biologics before? And what kind of, how would you bring it up to your doctor? And I'm going to pass it off to Jamie.
Cool. So I think I got lucky that once my doctor came into the room with my scope results and was all, congratulations, you still have Crohn's, because it became a big joke with us because I was untreated for so long, and it just kind of confirmed what she was already expecting. And I walked in armed with what biologic I wanted, and she walked in armed with what biologic she wanted. And she goes, do you want to go first or should I? And I said, let me go first, and then you can have your say. So I laid out my plan of which biologic I wanted first and why. And then I even said, and when I phase off of this because I refuse to say the F word, which is fail. I want to move to this biologic. And she retorted with, unfortunately, it's not going to work that way because I know your insurance company and we are going to have to go with which one they say you can go on. And then I will fight my hardest to get you on the med that we both agree on. And she liked my plan. She was cool with it. And so I felt empowered. And I felt like I laid it out in a reasonable way. I wasn't too emotional, which is silly to have to even present that. But I think I was also lucky that I have a female doctor, so I didn't feel as tense as I have with a male doctor previously. So I do think I'm lucky in that respect. But I think that other people can accomplish the same thing if they go in prepared and maybe even rehearse it a couple of times and don't feel that word vomit rush where you run out and say, ah, and then they look at you going, I don't know how I feel about this because emotions.
All right.
I forgot my battery's dying. Sorry.
Okay, so I feel like we should start wrapping up. Any final thoughts or things you would? What else would you guys like to mention, or how would you like to close it up? and wrap
Maybe if you hear online something that sounds really scary, run that past your doctor to see what the real deal is, because your doctor is your partner in this, and those people online have no investment in you.
Okay. I forget who was at the table with me the first night of IBD Social Circle. One of the doctors mentioned the 10,000 step
yes.
model.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Does anyone can anyone re-mention that in a way that is understandable? Because I have a
Yeah,
feeling.
I could try
think he
it.
would-
I
that
mean,
was
we could
Dr.
all like
Siegel's.
try it, and then you can pick out whichever one sounds the best when you're editing the video.
Okay. How am I gonna put this?
I'm gonna get off the bus before you answer that question, so I might be out of this right now, or I'll come right back. I just have to grab something because my phone is dying.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying there's something about internet with Christy. You know what? How about I'm just gonna hand it off to you and you say exactly like pretty much what you just said about the internet and
What I said, I fall out of my ass, I don't quite remember, but I'll try for the same flavor.
yeah. Or it could just be like a couple sentences, you know.
Okay.
You know, scary. You see scary stuff on the internet and see open up that pamphlet and you see all these things. They're like, oh, how can I die today?
Nope, not gonna reach.
Something like on that nature.
Plug it into the.
Final
maybe one of the
destination
Yeah.
IBD
power
style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
blocks on there. There should be a free one.
Thanks.
Maybe it's slow charging.
Hey Sarah.
Probably
Yeah.
gonna have to split.
So like with your
minutes.
TPM,
Mhm.
do you ever like
Downstairs.
mistake like your cord as like a
What's that?
charging cable and you reach for the wrong
I'm gonna
thing?
go to a section.
No, but I step on it all the time and yank it
Stuff tonight.
almost out of my chest.
Okay.
But no, I don't mistake the cord, because normally it's tucked in more to my backpack, so it's pretty short when I'm moving around. I only have it long right now, so it's out of the way.
Okay. Alrighty. And then Christy, you can just start talking and then I'll cut it in a way that looks good.
Right now?
I
Yep.
think we left out a lot of good information on safety and efficacy and optimizing biologics, but that could get into a very long video.
That would be a very long video. But we can always
Maybe we could do a
revisit
part
this.
two.
Yeah, we can do a part 2. Christy, you're up.
I guess my tip would be to, when you look on the internet and you see all those scary things, run those by your doctor to see if those are really true or how they apply to you. The people that are posting those, that's somebody's opinion, and that opinion has nothing to do with you. And your doctor is your partner in this, and the one you should be running things by, and can really help you. Those people online giving scary things out there, they don't necessarily have your best interest at heart, where your doctor does.
Hopefully.
So there can be quite a few scary things that you see, but so what are some the risks compared to things? Dan, can you better explain this than I can?
I don't know if I want to get into specifics on what the actual risks are, except to say that there are risks with every medication for like serious side effects. But with biologics that are used in IBD, the actual risks are extremely rare for something serious to happen. But it's kind of hard to appreciate how rare it is if you see just the numbers online, or if you read something saying that there is a 100% increase in a chance of something bad happening when you're taking a biologic. And so one thing a lot of, or some physicians are starting to do, I think it was Dr. Corey Siegel, I don't know if anyone remembers, who kind of kickstarted this thing called 10,000 Sticks, where he has like a visual representation of people. So if the odds of something bad happening typically in general population is 1 in 10,000, you would have 10,000 sticks and you can see it there, and one of them is red, the rest are gray. So you kind of see like, wow, that's really rare. And what you'll see in regards to biologics is an article might come out and it'll just talk about the relative increase, which means talking kind of about percentages. So if it is a 100-fold increase, that means there's twice as much risk. But when you're visualizing that, you can see that that's still 2 out of 10,000. So the absolute risk is what we need to really keep in mind. The absolute risk is still extremely small. And when you see it visually, it's a lot easier to understand and appreciate how rare it is, versus just seeing a number like, wow, 100% increase, or double the chance of something happening.
The biggest risk that a patient has is the risk of untreated disease.
So we're gonna pop back on the route and see where it takes us. Alright, this part we're gonna start kind of bopping up and down, and then all of a sudden we start kind of slowing down, and we're like, oh, it looks like we're running out of gas.
Why would we want that to happen?
I know that sounds good, isn't it? And we're like, oh, we'll see you guys next time.
We're stranded
Wait,
on
wait,
this
wait.
train.
To
This
be
is like a
continued.
really bad neighborhood.
To be continued. Dun, 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 dun.
Here?
Yeah.
We're somewhere in Canada, like.
I hope that happens sometime tomorrow.
Oh,
All right. Well, let's get back on the route and let's get to. Hold on. Let's get back on the route and let's keep driving. All right.
I feel like I'm not going to soon.
Nobody is.
Guys, I think we just ran out of gas.
Never getting on this bus
Yeah,
again.
this looks like a really bad neighborhood too.
Yeah.
Getting on the naturopath bus for real now.
Coconuts, here we come.
Macaroons is the one.
Oh yes, macaroons.
Remember,
All the way.
if you have
Wait,
questions,
get back here.
We're finished.
Let Dan go. Dan.
All right.
Dan.
Well,
it's fine. Come go.
Well, I guess this episode will be continued later on.
Remember, if you have questions about IBD, make sure to ask your bus driver.
You're from Bubba.
And a wrap. Great job, guys.
Oh god.
No! Movie has been stopped automatically. For what?
When?
For what? When? See, this is what we need another person.
Replay it
I'm
and
taking my
see.
phone.
Thanks for watching, guys.